Greetings, my fellow Austrian compatriots, and welcome back to the Eastern Front of the First World War. That's right. Looks like we've got a bloody bunch of Russians charging in on us. Fire at will. So, I've returned. Last time I was on the Western Front. Of course, I'm on the Eastern Front. And let's just get the obvious out the way. I am very excited for Isonzo? I'm very excited for the new game in this set on the Italian Alps. As I said, it was either the Italian Alps or the Middle East, like Gallipoli, that sort of area, whereas the next game should have been made. And I am actually very glad that they're doing it in the Italian Alps. Some bit of verticality. I reckon you could have the, if you're including the Baltic regions as well as Italy, you could have the Greeks as well as the Italians for the Entente. Of course, you've got the Austro-Hungarians, the Germans, and I think the Bulgarians were fighting against the Greeks for the Central Powers. So there is a bit you can do there, so that's good. Oh, there. Holy shit, that was a wave of Russians. Open up with the machine gun, lads. Cut them down. Damn, we're losing in the south. Looks like the Russians have a bit of a numerical advantage over us. But yes, I am excited. It's going to be great playing as the Italians. As I said, I know the Italians fought, but I don't know too much about these specific battles. So, good to reignite a bit of a desire to see what... Bollocks, I didn't have enough rounds in the chamber. So it'll be exciting to play that. As I said, looks like they've got artillery emplacements, mortars, machine gun nests are back. The cinematics certainly looked impressive. I don't think you'll be able to do some of the stuff like cutting barbed wire or bombing runs in the game. Seems a little too technical for what this is. Oh, you're a Bulgarian, you are not facing the enemy. That's why I bloody took a pot shot, you idiot. But anyway. I do bloody love this rifle. There are so many of these old rifles I'd love to get my hands on, but they're so rare that it'd be hard to get. Although I have seen one of these, although I didn't actually register what it was. The last arms auction I went to, they have one of these. They also had a Austrian M1888 or a Gewehr 1888 bolt action. I can't believe I missed 4 fucking shots at 25 meters for that fricking Russian. Oh, the straight pull bolt of this rifle makes it so fast to fire. It's bloody good. But yeah, I've seen a few of these rifles around. Problem is, as I said, I've talked about my collection of antique rifles on the channel before, and the problem is, it's a rather expensive hobby I've acquired. And as I said, if I'm trying to specialize in First World War rifles, then I'm looking at a pretty niche, pretty rare market within a rare market in itself. And trying to find in New Zealand of all places say Eastern Front weapons would be incredibly difficult. As I said, I'd love to collect one rifle from each of the major powers that fought in the First World War, but there's the Ottomans, which, believe it or not, is actually more common here than you think. I was very close to buying an Ottoman Morza at the last gun sale I went to, although someone snapped it up before I could. But I think that was a good thing, because I want to be calculating with my spending. Bloody Russian swine. But finding something like Austro-Hungarian or Bulgarian or something like that, I think would be incredibly difficult to try and find. I mean, you can basically walk over infields in this country, which is nice. But finding something more unique is a little bit more of a challenge. I mean, I'm having hard enough trouble trying to find a 1903 Springfield. Which is A, what I need to complete the American part of my exhibit, and B, it's the rifle that I need and use for my historical reenactments. So, it's kind of important that I find one. Man, most of these pistols are crap. Like, that rifle is probably the best of my weapon loadout options, but I will be nice to see if... Ooh. No, get back here, you freaking idiot. You have the radio. Oh my god, you fucking moron. I cannot call an artillery if you, with the radio, are not bloody responding. Fucking morons. I need to find a field radio to bloody call in air support. Gas mask on. Alright. Charge, my friends. Oh, you're a German. Announce yourself, Kraut. Right. We want to call in artillery. Now we want to call in 3 artillery shells. We'll call in and we won't cover our defensive territory. We'll cover the... Who's bloody firing on me? What other weapons have I got? Binoculars. Great, yes. I'm not a sniper spotter, so binoculars are really going to affect me and help me out when a bunch of horde of angry Russians come charging over the hill. But yes, anyway, back to expensive hobbies. So yeah, trying to find those rare rifles are kind of an expensive hobby. If I lived in Eastern Europe, apparently, from some people I've talked to, it's a little bit easier. Especially if you're wanting Soviet or Russian equipment. But for now, I'm just going to have to chip away at the collector's market as I can. Flanking fire! See, I like this pistol. But it has a good... You can reload it with stripper clips. It's solid. It's got a decent round. The problem is the fucking sights are hideous. It's like looking down a brick and trying to aim at anything that beyond point blank range with these sights is a hideous... Damn it. A hideous nightmare in of itself. It's interesting how just something simple like sights or equipment or something can sort of dramatically affect the rifle or a pistol's handling. Now, I know this is a video game, but in real life too, difference of sights and difference of people have a vast different effect on how well the weapon goes. Like, you know, changing the type of sights or the relative positioning of them. It was interesting, I was looking up a video on the history of First World War British sniping, as you do, and they were talking about the early 303 Enfield rifles that they were converted into sniper rifles being not very good, because the Enfield was designed as more of a battle rifle rather than a traditional sniping rifle, but also for the sake of the fact that the British decided that it was a great idea because the Enfield doesn't traditionally have scope mounts, to mount the scope on the offset to the side. And I mean, it doesn't take a genius to tell you that how that would affect accuracy. So it was just interesting, and then they adopted the P14 rifle as their standard marksman rifle, while the Canadians used the Ross, just because it was it was better for telescopic sights and better as a marksman rifle, whereas the Enfield was better as a battle or service rifle. Right. Actually, yeah, we'll order our troops to attack up there. I am disappointed that we're losing that ground in the north after I spent so long trying to retrieve it. But we are gaining ground in the south and the centre, so I suppose we have to look up our losses. Oh, I have a sword. That was the other thing I was looking at. I was looking at old First World War swords at the militaria sale I went to. They're slightly overpriced. I would like to get one, but it's like 500, 600 bucks, and I can get a rifle for that sort of thing. I got a P14 rifle for 550, and when I can get a First World War vintage P14 for that, for less than I'd get for a 1912 sword. And it's kind of one of those things of, if I had lots of disposable income, I would try and source a First World War or earlier sword. Ah! Bollocks! Still, killing 2 Russian officers with a sword before getting cut down by a Cossack, that's not the worst death in history. The most dishonourable death in history. Right, infantry are getting bloody bogged down trying to charge the centre. Oh, because we're encountering Cossacks. Ah. Charging Cossacks. Alright. I need to go back to a rifle. Pistol is useless in open ground fighting like this. Alright. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I've talked about it on my Discord, but I'm going to do it at some point. Do a comparison video. Ah, radio operator, you fucking moron. Thank you. I'm actually, because I have about 10 of the rifles from this game. So I actually want to do a comparison between how they've modeled them in the game versus the real rifles. So comparing details, say did they leave off the volley sights, where's the sling placement, how the action sounds is a good one. I might not be able to do a firing test because A, it's hard to find some of the old ammo, and B, I don't really live in an area where I can just nip out the back and fire off a couple rounds for a video. But it'd be just nice to compare and see how well they've modeled the actual models of the rifles themselves when compared to the real versions. Alright, we're in the bloody... Oh, I've got a bayonet to this thing. Good. Bayonets, sorry, just reminds me. I have a Lee Enfield Mark I, or a model Lee Enfield. And I also possess a Martini Henry. And I got a 1886 bayonet, which I believe was the correct pattern I needed for my 1901 Enfield. However, it's incorrect. It doesn't fit. So I was like, I'll try it with the Martini, see if it works on the Martini Enfield. No, it doesn't. In fact, the Martini Enfield requires a 1870s socket bayonet. Damn it. Good, I'm glad he was shot in the chest. But it requires a socket bayonet. So I've just got this bayonet that I don't know where it goes. It doesn't fit on a Lee Enfield Mark III. It doesn't fit on my 1900 Lee Enfield. It doesn't hit on the Martini Henry. It's British stamped 1886. But I have no fucking clue what it fits. And researching into bayonets, I've realized that that's actually more common than you would think. Like, it's kind of mental in the sense that that's the player I'm imagining. But bayonets, there's many bayonets were actually fitted as one-offs. Like, it was quite fascinating. Like, the P14 rifle has its own unique set of bayonet type when compared to everything else, which was following the 1907 Enfield pattern of bayonet. So it's just mental. The British Ordnance and Supply Depot must have been drunk, because surely you'd want uniformity of, bayonets and standard designs. But no. They just have every type of rifle has its own type of bayonet, and every sub-pattern has its own sub-pattern of bayonet. It wasn't until, well, the number 4, when they had all the different variant bayonet patterns for that there was some sort of uniformity. But even then, I was talking to someone at the Antique Arms Association, and even the number 4 Lee Enfield had 14 different variants of bayonet. Okay, they really want their central position back. They're dropping poison gas and smoke to try and get this bloody position back. But yeah, it was just interesting. I think it's after the Second World War that militaries tried to fashion together some sort of Bollocks! He was hiding behind the field gun. I just didn't quite see him. My 3-round artillery burst didn't quite get him. No matter. But yeah, it was after the Second World War that there was militaries tried to get some sort of uniformity. I guess NATO helped with that, although even then, fucking, when one country has so much pull, like the US did after the Second World War, it really fucks over your supply, because that's the reason they stuck with the 7.62x54 round after, you know, when they first established, you know, the NATO standard cartridge, was because the Americans lobbied for it. The British wanted something lighter, like a 276 Enfield, which is what they were going for the EM2. While the French wanted their own light round as well. Everyone else wanted intermediate cartridges, but because America insisted on having a heavier cartridge, that was the reason you got the 7.62x54. And then eventually they realized how stupid that was, and got the 5.56x45, which is what the M16 and later used. But even now they're realizing that that's actually a little bit underpowered. Just bizarre. Oh. Thank you, radio operator, for not moving as I was trying to use the radio. You're the first helpful radio operator I've seen. Alright, follow the ditch. Move up to the side. Alright. Infantry! Charge! Alright, 2 rounds. Shit, they're manning the Maxim gun. Holy crap, I managed to survive. 5 rounds, get them bloody in. Fuck, this thing being a straight pull bolt action just makes it so much more efficient for firing. Though, I think from my personal research on their rifle, the straight pull actually made it a little bit flimsy. In reality. I suppose you can take a little bit of creative liberties in a game. But even so, I think this one has certainly a lot better attention to historical accuracy in its firearms than, say, Call of Duty or Battlefield does. I mean, you only have to play Battlefield 5 and know that they didn't really give a shit about the accuracy of firearms. Oh, the M2 carbine! That only 5,000 of them were actually created by the end of the Second World War, and they never actually saw combat. Oh, what's this? Every single player uses the M2 carbine because it's hideously overpowered. No, I would never would have imagined. Damn it, the smoke's blocking a lot of our firing lines. Alright, Bulgarian, thank you very much for assisting. I think that was a player because they were craftily hiding behind a box. As I said, this thing, with its straight pull bolt action being so fast to fire, just makes it so bloody suitable for trench clearing. You're a Bulgarian. Honestly, you Bulgarians scare the crap out of me. Your uniforms are so bloody similar to the Russian ones that it's very hard for me not to just immediately pop off around at you. Oh, good. Alright, the central artillery position is held. No radio support. And there's about 18 Russians charging at us. Okay. Fucking aim and fire, don't give a shit about finesse. Oh, this is the type of situation where we need grenades. I don't care, just keep fucking firing. Damn it. Good use of grenades there. You use grenades to pitch out the dugout before you charged. That was very, very well done. A lot of soldiers or a lot of players in this game don't. They just charge in with rifles. And then wonder why they get shot. Right, that grenade. Come now. Grenade spamming. He's really upset at me. Alright. I think they're hiding in around here. Pushing rifle fire up the hill. While their grenadiers go around the flank here. That's my logical interpretation of this. Support. Artillery. Okay, this is getting a bit suspect now. It's a legitimate question. Is he standing by a grenade ammo box and just shucking them? Because it honestly seems like it's what he's doing. See, the sights on this thing are nice as well. They're not too complicated. Just a simple peep. See, the M1888 has slightly more complicated sights, which makes it better for long range accuracy. However, it makes it a little bit slower and more annoying to acquire snap targets. Alright, our troops are gaining ground, which is nice. We're able to hold that central point. However, I'm probably going to not spawn on it just for the sake of getting grenaded. Radio. I've got the bloody radio. Artillery, 3-round burst, 3-round barrage on these coordinates. Excellent! Victory for the Central Powers. I think the Austro-Hungarian army did good this day, which is actually rather rare. You even see my artillery killing people in the background. Oh, that's very appropriate. Nearly at level 100. One more bloody level. Oh, look at that. To almost level 100.